The roar of the flames was deafening, echoing across the scorched earth. As the wildfire raged on, turning vast forests into ashes, one man stood apart from the chaos, observing it all from the window of his private jet. This was no ordinary disaster. For Elon Musk, this wasn't just a natural calamity. It was something deeper, something that tugged at the edges of his mind, threatening to unravel everything he thought he knew about the world. While the fires consumed everything in their path, there was a detail, something in the pattern of destruction, that caught his attention. No one else had noticed it, not the scientists, not the governments. But Musk's mind worked differently. His eyes lingered on the smoke, the shifting winds, the way the fire moved in unpredictable patterns. It was as if the earth itself was sending him a message only he could decode. But what was it? The world around him was burning, and yet, Musk felt an urgency to understand something more profound, a connection to the flames that others dismissed as a natural disaster. He knew it was more than that. There was something hidden in the fire, something that could change the future of humanity itself. But at what cost? As the inferno spread across the horizon, one question loomed larger than the flames. Could Elon Musk uncover the truth before it was too late? Elon Musk. The world knows him as a visionary, someone who's charted the course of humanity's future. Yet, beneath the polished image of the genius behind SpaceX and Tesla, there is a man who carries the weight of a planet's future on his shoulders. The cold steel of his private jet's windows reflects his pensive gaze as he watches the wildfire's fury from above. His face, usually confident and unwavering, shows signs of fatigue, an exhaustion born from years of pushing boundaries, fighting to make the impossible possible. Yet, today, something different gnaws at him. He has always viewed the Earth as a canvas, a vast, complex system waiting to be decoded. But now, the fire seems to speak a language he doesn't fully understand. The patterns, the erratic shifts in its path, the sudden intensity, it's all wrong. Musk's mind races, piecing together data, trying to make sense of what his instincts are telling him. The fires, which had once seemed like just another natural disaster, now appear to him as a puzzle, one that could be the key to the next leap in humanity's survival. But why does it matter so much to him? Why does this feel like the ultimate test? Musk has always known that humanity's greatest threat was its own destruction, yet he's never seen it manifest like this before. The fire is not just an event, it is a warning. He must uncover the truth before the world collapses in on itself. The Earth, as a character. Though the Earth is not human, it is the pulse of the story. The land, the winds, the flames, they are its voice, and they speak in a language that Musk can sense but cannot yet fully interpret. The forests, once lush and green, now stand as charred remnants of what was. The Earth is grieving, and every crackle of the fire, every gust of wind, whispers its pain. The Earth is at a tipping point, and Musk feels its urgency. It's as if the planet is warning him, begging for his help. But what is it asking for? Redemption? Understanding? Or perhaps something far more profound? An awakening to the reality of its limits? Musk's connection to the Earth is not just intellectual. It's emotional. He has spent his life trying to save humanity from itself, to build a future among the stars. Yet he knows, deep down, that it's the Earth that needs saving first. This wildfire, though devastating, may be the key to a revelation he's been seeking for years. Musk's team. Behind Musk stands his loyal team, brilliant engineers, scientists, and thinkers who believe in his vision. But lately, a sense of unease has settled among them. They are beginning to see the toll Musk's obsession with the wildfires is taking. Long hours, missed family time, the growing distance between Musk and his closest colleagues. They feel it all. Dr. Grace Allen, a climate scientist and one of Musk's closest advisors, is the first to speak up, though her voice trembles with hesitation. She knows the importance of what Musk is trying to uncover, but she also sees the danger in his relentless pursuit. She fears that his obsession with the wildfires may blind him to the real crisis, a crisis of isolation. Musk is pulling away from everything. His team, his family, even himself. The stakes are no longer just about the planet. They are about the man they once knew, a man who is starting to lose touch with everything he fought for. The team's conflict is clear. They believe in Musk's genius, but they're starting to fear the cost of his obsession. Will they follow him into the flames, or will they pull away when it matters most? The wildfire as a force. The fire isn't just a backdrop, it's a character in its own right. It moves in unpredictable ways, a force of nature that seems to have its own will. What once began as a small spark quickly turns into an unstoppable force, and with each passing hour, it spreads, devouring forests, cities, and everything in its path. The fire mirrors Musk's inner turmoil, growing more uncontrollable as his thoughts spiral deeper into the unknown. Every crackle, every plume of smoke, carries a hint of something darker, something sinister. The wildfires are not just a natural disaster. They are the manifestation of a deeper, more systemic collapse. And Musk, with all his knowledge and power, might just be the only one who can stop it. But the question is, can he? Emotional stakes and foreshadowing. The wildfires, the Earth's pulse, Musk's obsession. It's all tied together in a delicate balance. The stakes have never been higher, not just for the planet, but for Musk himself. The tension between his desire to save the world and his growing isolation from those around him is palpable. Will Musk unravel the mystery behind the fires before they consume everything? Or will the planet's cry for help be drowned in the very flames he's trying to understand? As the fire spreads, so does a deeper conflict. One that could destroy everything Musk has built, leaving him to face the terrifying truth. The biggest threat to humanity might not be the fires themselves, but the man trying to stop them. This is just the beginning. The world is burning, and only Musk holds the key to understanding why. But as he gets closer to the truth, the fires will reveal more than he bargained for. Secrets that may destroy not only the Earth, but also everything he's worked for. The first revelation. The camera focuses on Elon Musk, deep in thought in his high-tech command center, surrounded by holographic displays and frantic data streams. His fingers hover over the touchpad, his mind racing through countless scenarios. The wildfire's movements defy logic. It's spreading in ways he's never seen before. In the past, fire would follow natural patterns, dictated by the wind and terrain. But this is different. Musk stares at the data. Something doesn't add up. Suddenly, a breakthrough. Musk spots an anomaly in the fire's behavior. A subtle shift in the wind, an unpredictable expansion pattern. He leans forward, his brow furrowing. It's not just a wildfire anymore. It's something intentional. The fire is being manipulated. And Musk realizes with growing horror that the Earth itself is sending him a warning not just about the environment, but about something far darker. He whispers to himself, almost in disbelief, "It's not random. It's too calculated." The camera zooms in on Musk's face, his eyes wide with realization. The once chaotic data now forms a pattern, one he can't ignore. Outside, the fire blazes even brighter, as if mocking his newfound awareness. The tension in the room thickens, palpable. A split in the team. Dr. Grace Allen is at her desk, surrounded by papers, her face pale with worry. She's been reviewing the same fire data for hours, but something doesn't sit right. The fire's path is becoming more erratic, almost as though it's following a specific set of coordinates. The flames seem to be deliberately cutting through key locations. Grace picks up the phone, her fingers trembling as she calls Musk. But before she can speak, Riley West, the team's chief engineer, bursts into the room, an urgent look on his face. "Have you seen this?" he asks, holding up a map. It's a schematic of the wildfire's predicted path. But it's not just any path. It's leading straight toward Musk's secret research facility in the Nevada desert. "I don't believe this," Grace mutters, glancing at the map and then at Riley. Her instincts tell her something is wrong. Someone is directing this fire. But why? Who would want to destroy Musk's facility? The decision. Musk is faced with a critical decision. Does he warn his team and evacuate the facility? Or does he stay and risk everything to uncover the truth about the fire's origins? The weight of the decision crushes him, but he knows that if he leaves now, he might never get another chance to stop the fire's spread or to decode the message from the Earth. As he makes the call to stay, Grace's voice crackles through his comms, filled with concern. "Elon, you can't be serious. If you stay, we lose everything. This isn't just a fire anymore. It's a target. Someone is orchestrating this." But Musk is resolute. I need to know why this is happening. I need to know who's behind this. His voice is cold, focused, but there's a flicker of doubt in his eyes. The camera cuts between Musk standing tall in the command center, the flickering lights casting long shadows on his face, and Grace's frantic movements as she tries to convince him otherwise. Outside, the smoke is rising, blotting out the sun. The hidden betrayal. Later that night, as Musk analyzes the data, a shockwave of betrayal ripples through his team. Grace, unable to stand by as Musk plunges deeper into this dangerous obsession, meets with Riley in secret. She's no longer sure of Musk's path. She fears that his obsession with the fire will lead to irreversible consequences. "I've been talking to someone," she whispers, glancing over her shoulder. "Someone who believes this fire is a smokescreen. They're saying Musk is being manipulated by forces beyond his control. This isn't just about nature. It's about something much bigger, Riley. Something that could destroy us all." Riley listens, his eyes narrowing. He doesn't believe Grace, but he can't ignore the nagging doubts in the pit of his stomach. Is Musk truly on the right path? Or is he too deep in his quest for answers to see the danger that's closing in around them? A desperate gamble. As Musk pushes forward with his investigation, the fire continues to behave in ways that defy logic. Every theory he tests only raises more questions. Yet, in the midst of it all, he uncovers something astonishing, a connection to his own work. The patterns of the wildfire are eerily similar to a project he'd started years ago, a project that was designed to control environmental factors on a global scale. Musk's breath catches in his throat. Could it be that his own past actions, his own creations, have come back to haunt him? The very technology he developed to save the Earth could be the source of its destruction. Desperation sets in. Musk contacts his team and orders them to launch a satellite probe to get a real-time view of the fire's epicenter. But something goes wrong. The probe's signal is jammed, and Musk's eyes widen as he realizes the true scale of the conspiracy. The fire isn't just a result of natural causes. It's a calculated move to undermine everything he's worked for. The camera shifts to a view of the satellite screen, the data stream flickering erratically as it's overtaken by a series of strange, encrypted codes. Musk slams his fist down on the console. This isn't just fire. This is war. The tension breaks. In a twist of fate, just as Musk begins to make sense of the cryptic messages, the wildfire reaches the Nevada desert. The research facility is in flames, and the team is forced into an evacuation. Grace, Riley, and the others watch helplessly as the structure they've poured their lives into is reduced to rubble. But in the chaos, something unexpected happens. Musk, standing amidst the flames, begins to understand the truth behind the fire's strange movements. The patterns were never random. They were designed. Someone had been tracking his every move, using the fire to draw him out. The fire wasn't the enemy. It was a decoy, a distraction. And now, Musk has uncovered the true force behind it. A rival tech empire that has been watching his every step, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The fire rages in the background, but the camera focuses on Musk's face, a mixture of determination and dread. His eyes lock onto the horizon, where a new danger is rising. The camera pans out, showing the vast destruction, with Musk standing at the center of it all, the flames licking at his feet. The cliffhanger. As Musk prepares for the final confrontation, the true scope of the betrayal becomes clear. The fire has been manipulated not just by a rival corporation, but by someone within his own team. Grace, once a trusted ally, is revealed to have been secretly working with the enemy all along. The camera cuts to Grace, standing alone in the shadows, a knowing look on her face as she watches the chaos unfold. "Elon was never meant to win," she whispers, barely audible. The flames continue to burn, their fury now matched only by the shock that pulses through Musk's veins. The camera cuts to black, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, unsure of who will emerge victorious in the war that's just begun. The rising action has set the stage for a final, explosive showdown, one that will change everything Musk thought he knew about loyalty, betrayal, and the future of the Earth. As the fire rages on, Elon Musk feels the walls closing in. He's no closer to understanding the full scope of the conspiracy, and with each passing moment, the flames grow nearer to his last hope for solving the mystery. His thoughts swirl around the patterns, the data, the anomalies, until something breaks through. Musk sits alone in his control room, staring at the live feed of the research facility burning. The data from the satellite probe arrives, and a small notification pings on his screen. It's encrypted but contains something familiar. He can't place it at first, but as his eyes scan the numbers, his breath hitches. A name. It's the name of Grace Allen, his most trusted colleague. His heart pounds. The encryption, the signal jamming, it all points to her. Grace. Musk whispers, disbelief flooding his senses. He picks up the phone, dialing her number, but the call goes straight to voicemail. He can't believe it. There must be a mistake. She's been by his side through everything, hasn't she? She was the one person he never thought would betray him. But deep down, an unsettling feeling begins to surface. He recalls the last conversation he had with her, her insistence that he leave the research facility, her reluctance, her hurried words. It all starts to come together in a terrifying new light. Confrontation with Grace. Musk can't wait any longer. He needs answers, and he needs them now. He orders his team to track down Grace's location. As the screen flickers, showing Grace's last known coordinates, Musk's mind races with possibilities. But as he prepares to confront her, another bombshell hits. A live broadcast on his news feed interrupts the data. The camera zooms in on a familiar face, Riley West, the chief engineer. Musk's blood runs cold. Riley is standing next to Grace, speaking to the media. He's been caught, his involvement now exposed. Everything Elon Musk has done, from the fires to the tech innovations, has been driven by one thing: self-interest. His vision has blinded him to the real threat, the real danger to humanity. It's time we took control of the situation, Riley says, his voice smooth, his words calculated. The betrayal is swift. Musk watches in shock as Riley, his right-hand man, joins forces with Grace, and together, they outline a plan to seize Musk's technology. They claim that his obsession with the fire and the world's future has led him to lose sight of reality. Musk's technology, once thought to be a solution, is now the key to a dangerous global power struggle. Musk can barely process the betrayal. He thought Grace and Riley were on his side, but they've been playing him from the start. The two of them are now working with a rival company, and together, they have the power to destroy everything Musk has built. The emotional fallout. Musk staggers back from the screen, his mind reeling. He can't breathe, can't focus. His hands shake as he looks at the chaotic data streaming across his desk. He's been manipulated, outsmarted by the people he trusted the most. The world he thought he understood, the relationships he thought were unbreakable, have all been shattered in an instant. Grace's face, once so familiar, now feels like a stranger. His trust in her, the bond they shared over the years, evaporates in the blink of an eye. Riley's cold demeanor, always calculating, always focused, was never really loyalty. Musk had been too blind to see it. But the betrayal goes deeper. He realizes now that the fire, the erratic path, the encrypted messages, it was all part of a larger plan. A plan that Grace and Riley had set into motion long before he'd even noticed. Musk whispers, "How could you do this, Grace? After everything we've been through?" Musk's descent into isolation. Musk retreats to a secluded room in his facility, the chaos of the outside world suddenly distant. Alone, he faces the enormity of the situation. The facility is no longer a sanctuary, it's a battleground. The fire continues its rampage, relentless, as if mocking him. A soft beep pulls him out of his stupor. It's a message, a last-ditch effort from Maya, a former colleague who has been helping Musk remotely. The message is brief, but it's enough to send a shockwave through him. Maya, text message, the fire isn't the worst of it. Grace and Riley are planning to take everything. They've gone too far this time. Musk's heart pounds. The fire was never just a fire. It was a tool designed to drive him into a corner. The full extent of Grace and Riley's betrayal begins to sink in. They're not just trying to steal his technology. They're aiming to control the future of the world. A moment of vulnerability. For the first time, Musk allows himself to feel the weight of the betrayal. The walls he's built around himself, the armor of confidence and ambition, crack. In this quiet moment, Musk is no longer the invincible tech mogul or the visionary inventor. He is just a man a man who has lost everything. He looks out the window, his eyes scanning the horizon where the fire is consuming the last traces of his dreams. In that instant, the truth hits him. He has been so focused on saving the world that he never saw the destruction happening right under his nose. Musk slumps into a chair, staring at the screen in front of him. His future, once so clear and full of promise, now feels like a distant memory. The weight of everything, his achievements, his failures, his relationships, crashes down on him. Musk, softly to himself, I should have seen this coming. A sudden realization. But just as Musk begins to surrender to the weight of his failure, something shifts. The fire outside, the destruction, the betrayal. It all suddenly takes on new meaning. His eyes narrow as a new thought takes root in his mind. He's not finished yet. The fire was always part of the plan, yes, but it was also his chance to rise from the ashes. He grabs the console and begins frantically typing. If Grace and Riley think they've won, they're wrong. The real battle is only just beginning, and Musk is far from ready to give up. The camera shows Musk's face, filled with pain and regret, but now, an ember of determination flickers in his eyes. He stands tall, pulling himself together as the camera pulls back to show the growing inferno outside, echoing his internal fire. The midpoint marks a dramatic shift in Musk's journey. No longer just a man caught in a web of corporate rivalry, he has become the underdog. A man who will stop at nothing to regain control and uncover the true extent of the conspiracy that's threatening everything he's built. The stakes have never been higher. Musk has lost his allies, but he's far from defeated. The story is about to take an even darker turn. The final showdown. The world outside is burning. The flames that have ravaged Musk's research facility now encircle his last bastion of hope, the command center. Musk stands at the center of the room, his heart pounding, his thoughts racing. The final confrontation is moments away, and he knows that everything he's worked for, everything he's built, could crumble in an instant. The silence is oppressive. Outside, the sound of the fire's crackle echoes in the distance, but inside the control room, a heavy stillness reigns. The dim glow of the monitors casts eerie shadows on Musk's face, his features hardened with determination. He's alone, save for one presence, Grace Allen. She steps into the room, her silhouette barely visible in the doorway. Her expression is unreadable, but Musk feels the weight of her gaze, the betrayal lingering like a dark cloud between them. Musk, firmly, Grace, it's over. I know what you've done. Grace remains silent for a moment, then steps closer. Her eyes narrow, and Musk feels a cold shiver run down his spine. She's not the woman he once knew. The woman standing before him is a stranger, a woman who has chosen her path, no matter the cost. Grace, calmly, you don't know the whole story, Elon. You never did. This is bigger than you, bigger than us. Musk, angrily, bigger than us? You've betrayed everything we stood for. You helped destroy the one thing I cared about, the truth. The fire was never the answer, Grace. Grace, scoffing, you were always too naive, too caught up in your own vision. The truth is, this fire is exactly what the world needs, a new beginning. You never saw it, but I did. The heart of the betrayal. Musk takes a step forward, his fists clenched. He's been betrayed by Grace, yes, but something deeper is at play. His mind flashes back to moments they shared, the late-night discussions about technology, the dreams they once built together. But now, those moments feel like hollow echoes of a past that's slipping away from him. Musk, voice cracking, I trusted you. I believed in us. And you used me to play your part in something I can't even comprehend. Grace, coldly, I did what I had to do. You were too blinded by your ideals to see what was really happening. The world can't be saved by just one man. It needs chaos to rebuild. It needs destruction to create something greater. And this fire? It's just the beginning. The betrayal's revelation. The room grows colder as Grace steps even closer to Musk. She places a hand on a console, and a sudden flicker of light illuminates her face. Musk watches as a digital map of the world appears on the screen. Spreading flames, darkened cities, the encroaching destruction that signals the end of the world he knew. Musk's heart races as the truth sinks in. Grace's plan is bigger than he ever imagined. The fire wasn't just a destructive force. It was the spark for a new world order, a world that Grace and Riley had been working toward all along. Grace, whispering, "I was always going to destroy the world, Elon. You just didn't realize that you were helping me. All this time, I've been preparing for the moment when everything would burn. And now, it's here. Your vision has blinded you. Mine is clearer than ever." The shock of her words hits Musk like a punch to the gut. His mind races, trying to process everything. He's been manipulated, used as a pawn in a game that he didn't even know was being played. Musk, quietly, "I failed. I failed you. I failed everyone. But I won't let this happen." The final decision. With the weight of the world on his shoulders, Musk realizes that this moment will decide the fate of everything. Grace stands before him, her eyes hard and unforgiving. He's lost everything: his company, his friends, his trust in people. But one thing remains: his will to fight. He doesn't know if he can stop what's coming. He doesn't know if the fire can be contained, if the world can be saved. But he knows one thing for sure: he won't let Grace take everything down with her. In a flash of movement, Musk grabs the emergency override, initiating the fail-safe system designed to halt the global disaster. It's his last chance to stop the chaos, but it's a gamble. If it doesn't work, everything will fall apart, and Musk will have lost for good. Musk, resolute, "If you want to watch the world burn, Grace, you'll have to do it without me." He presses the button. The final confrontation. The room trembles as the system powers up, and for a moment, everything seems still. Grace's eyes widen as she realizes what Musk has done. The countdown begins, a final chance to undo the destruction. Grace, desperate, "No, Elon. You can't. You don't understand what you're doing." But Musk stands firm, refusing to back down. The tension is palpable, the air thick with anticipation. Grace takes a step toward him, but before she can act, the system locks into place. A blinding light fills the room as the failsafe begins to work. The flames outside begin to wane, the world beginning to rebuild in the most unexpected of ways. The fire, once all-consuming, is now contained. But the battle is far from over. The destruction is only the first chapter in a much longer story. Aftermath and the cost of victory. As the system finishes its cycle, the room falls silent. Grace stands, her shoulders slumped in defeat, her eyes filled with something Musk hasn't seen in a long time: fear. She never imagined he would take this risk. "Grace, quietly, you don't understand. It was never about the fire. It was always about control." Musk doesn't respond. His gaze moves to the screen, where the map once again flickers. The world is scarred, yes, but it is not lost. The fire, the destruction. It's part of a larger plan now, one that he will have to face. The price of victory was high, but Musk knows the battle has just begun. He's saved the world, only to realize the true cost of the chaos. The camera zooms in on Musk's face, his expression a mixture of exhaustion and determination. The flames outside may have been extinguished, but the real work is just beginning. The final showdown has passed, but the consequences are far-reaching. The screen fades to black, the last words lingering in the air. Musk whispers to himself, "The world will never be the same." The aftermath. The camera lingers on the smoldering ruins outside the control room. What was once a symbol of Musk's future now lies in ruins. The fire that threatened to engulf everything has been contained, but the damage remains. The sky is clearing, but there's an eerie stillness in the air, as if the world is holding its breath. Inside, Musk stands alone, staring at the monitor in front of him. The numbers on the screen flicker, showing that the crisis has passed, but something in Musk's eyes reveals the toll it's taken on him. He looks exhausted, worn down, but there's a subtle hint of relief too. Musk, to himself, softly, "We survived. But at what cost?" His voice cracks slightly as he speaks, the weight of his decision still pressing heavily on his shoulders. He saved the world, but at the expense of his vision, his trust, and the people he once considered allies. The fire may have been extinguished, but the emotional scars remain. Grace's departure. The door to the control room creaks open, and Musk turns to see Grace standing there. She looks smaller now, her once confident demeanor shattered. The fire in her eyes has dimmed, replaced by something else, a quiet regret, a recognition of the truth she had refused to see until now. Grace takes a few tentative steps forward, and for the first time, her gaze is not cold or calculating. It's filled with vulnerability, a side of her Musk had never seen before. Grace, softly, I thought I could control everything. But maybe I was wrong. Musk doesn't respond immediately. His eyes are fixed on her, but his expression is unreadable. Grace steps closer, but she doesn't reach for him. She seems almost afraid to. Grace, continuing, I never wanted it to end like this. I thought, if I could just make the world see things my way, maybe it would all work out. But now, I don't know. There's a long pause. Musk's eyes flicker with the ghost of a past they shared. A time when they were partners, when they fought for the same cause. But that time is gone. Musk, finally, we were never meant to change the world like that, Grace. Not through destruction. Not through chaos. Grace, nodding slowly. I thought I could be the one to make the difference, but I was wrong. I thought I had all the answers. The emotional reckoning. Grace turns to leave, but before she walks out, she hesitates. Musk watches her for a moment, and in that silence, something unspoken passes between them. A shared understanding of everything that's been lost. Grace, with a quiet, heavy heart, I'll be gone soon. I'll never be able to fix what I've broken, but I hope one day you'll forgive me. With that, she leaves. Musk stands in the empty room, the weight of her words lingering in the air. He doesn't know if he can forgive her, but he knows one thing. Forgiveness is something he'll need to find, not just for Grace, but for himself. He moves toward the window, looking out at the still-burning landscape beyond. The fire may have been contained, but the world has changed. His mind drifts to the future he must now build, from the ashes of the past. The personal reckoning. Later that night, Musk sits alone in his office. The space is quiet, save for the occasional hum of equipment still running. He's not sure what to do next. He's saved the world, but his vision has been shattered. The people he trusted most have turned their backs on him, and now, he's left to pick up the pieces. His phone buzzes, a message from an old colleague, one who once shared his dream of building a better future. The message is short, but its impact is profound. We're with you. We're ready to rebuild. Musk stares at the message for a long moment. There's no grand plan, no roadmap for what's to come. All he has is the hope that the lessons he's learned will be enough to guide him forward. The world moves on. Outside, the world is slowly returning to normal. The fires are out, but the scars remain. On the land, on the people, and on Musk himself. He steps outside, breathing in the fresh air, the smell of rain mixing with the smoke still lingering in the sky. It's a new world, but one still recovering from the wreckage. As he walks through the ruins of the once thriving research facility, he notices something. Life is beginning to sprout again. Amidst the destruction, a small plant has found its way through the charred earth. It's a symbol of hope, of resilience, of life pushing forward no matter how many times it's knocked down. Musk smiles faintly, the first real smile we've seen from him in a long time. The future is uncertain, but in this small moment, he sees a glimmer of possibility. The camera pulls back, showing Musk standing in the midst of the ruins, staring at the horizon. The world may never be the same, but perhaps that's not entirely a bad thing. He's learned the hard way that not everything can be controlled. Not people, not the future, not the chaos that runs through the veins of the world. But maybe, just maybe, that's where true change begins. Not through control, not through fire, but through growth, resilience, and the willingness to rebuild. Piece by piece, day by day. The screen fades to black, leaving the audience with the echoes of Musk's voice, speaking not as a man who has won or lost, but as one who is simply moving forward. Musk, the world is never what we expect. But we have to keep going, because in the end, it's the only way to find out who we really are. As the story comes to a close, the questions it raises are deep, and the lessons are not easily forgotten. The twists, betrayals, and difficult choices made throughout the journey bring us to a crucial point of reflection. The most profound lesson comes from the decisions that shaped the course of events. Sometimes, we find that the true cost of survival and loyalty isn't just about what we hold on to, but also what we are willing to let go of. It's in moments of extreme pressure that we discover what we are truly made of, whether we cling to the past or we embrace change and rebuild for the future. Sometimes, it's not the battle we win, but the way we rise from defeat that truly defines us. Now, think about your own life. Have you ever been faced with a choice that changed everything? What would you have done in their position? Would you have chosen to fight for what you believed in? Or would you have walked away to find a new path? The price of loyalty, the cost of truth, and the weight of sacrifice are themes that challenge us all. Can loyalty ever be truly unconditional, or is there always a breaking point? Is it worth the cost? As you reflect on this story, ask yourself, what would you have done? What is the price of your own loyalty? And is it a price you're willing to pay? The answer is yours to find, but it's clear. Sometimes, the greatest strength lies not in holding on, but in knowing when to let go and rebuild anew. What would you do? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.